If you're thinking about filing a lawsuit, you may not be ready for what may mentally face you in terms of actually initiating it. So I want you to keep a few things in mind. When you start to do your initial filing, you're going to be really preoccupied with making sure you get everything right, and you should. In most cases, when you're filing a case in court, whether it be state, county, whatever court you're filing in, there are usually certain things that you have to make sure you have in that filing to ensure that it satisfies the requirement for the court to be able to have jurisdiction over it. So when you're filing it, you're going to find yourself retracing all of your old steps back in terms of figuring out what it took to get you to where you are. So you want to make sure that you write out the details so that this way they can be laid out in a specific format. So this way you can ensure that you let the court know, or whatever body you're actually going before, why your case should appear before that entity for purposes of a decision that needs to be made. And once you get it into court, I need you to start mentally preparing yourself for two realities. One, there are going to be certain documents and things that you're going to need to comply with, whether it be the providing of information, whether it be responding to requests from the other side if you're dealing in what's called an adversarial process, or maybe just dealing with the court itself, where the court is asking you to do certain things. So start mentally preparing yourself for the reality that you're going to need to provide that information to them in a timely manner, and be prepared for the fact that you're going to probably be asked to provide things, probably in manners that you weren't expecting. Get yourself ready for that. Second, be prepared for the reality that there are going to be deadlines. And courts can be flexible with certain things, but sometimes the courts cannot. So when you see yourself being told that you need to provide some documentation or a response or an answer within a specific period of time, do everything you possibly can to actually ensure that you actually comply with that request. Any document you get from the court or the entity you're dealing with is going to probably tell you you need to respond within a set period of time. Start conditioning yourself to get those responses back to them as soon as possible, so this way you don't find yourself freaking out when you get close to that deadline. And you may also need to hire an attorney. Now, what you're going to probably hear that in certain situations you may be required to have to get one, but in the vast majority of cases where you're actually depending on the court, you may not need one. However, you may find that if you're not intimately familiar with everything you need to do in order to be able to win your case, prove your case, or protect yourself in terms of protecting your rights, you're going to need to start giving serious thought to investigating, finding yourself an attorney, and make sure you give yourself plenty of time to try to find an attorney, and not try to be scrambling after you filed your case to now say, oh my gosh, I only have a short period of time. When you're doing all of your prep work to prepare to file your case in court, make sure looking for an attorney, if that's something you're interested in doing, is a part of your process. And the moment you engage yourself in the process, make sure you start mentally preparing yourself to know where your legal position is, meaning what is your responsibility. If you're going into a system where your responsibility is for you to prove something, you need to be prepared to prove it. If you're going in what's called an adversarial process, which means you're going against another attorney or another entity or body or organization, you better be prepared to start mentally preparing yourself for the reality that you're going to have to defend yourself. So start getting into your mindset ahead of time, what the things that you need to do, so this way when things are coming at you, you're not acting in a defensive posture, you're acting in a proactive offensive posture, because you've already anticipated they're going to come at you and you can be prepared to respond accordingly. Legal cases can be tricky. It doesn't matter what court you're in, whether it be an administrative court, civil or criminal, whether it be state, county, or local or federal. Once you have made the decision to utilize the legal process in order to get the result that you're looking for, start gearing yourself up to make sure that you realize that you're now moving into an arena that you probably don't deal with on a regular basis. So start getting yourself into the mindset of trying to adapt to the arena that you're going into so that you're not shocked when something comes at you.